I was having devotions one morning, and I was reading the Bible, and I was praying, and I went to pick up the Bible, and the Lord said, no. I didn't hear a voice, but it was just that Spirit said, no. And then I went to pick up the list of names of people that I pray for, and there was that in my spirit. It was the Spirit, the Lord said, no. And I thought, well, what's going on here? What's going on? So I just sat and I waited, and all of a sudden, I saw a vision. I was in a deep canyon, and it wasn't very wide, but all the stones that are up along the side, but it was all black. The stones were dark colored. There wasn't a leaf, there wasn't a blade of grass, there wasn't anything growing there. Just a little water trickling down through the stones. And I looked around, and I was looking up at the side of the cliff, and there was Jesus on the side of the cliff on a cross. And I just was amazed, and I just stood and I looked at it, and I looked at it. And he was hanging on the cross. There were no nails. What was happening was my sins, this is how I interpret it, my sins were holding him to that cross. And as I watched, his head was hanging down, the long hair, dark hair was hanging down. And as I stood there watching this, he turned his head a little bit and looked down at me, and he says, I'm doing this for you. He was hanging on the cross for me and my sins, taking my place. And as I looked at him, I saw marks on his body, and I knew those were the marks of my sins in my life that he was taking upon himself. And I sat there for a long time just in the presence of God, just amazed at it, you know. I must have spent 4 hours just, the Spirit of the Lord was there, and I didn't want to leave. But finally I realized it's time for life to go on again. And that is the first and the only time that I have ever had anything like this happen to me. And it was all God's doing. And I just praise him and worship him for that.